A billionaire CEO slides a blank check across a grease-stained workbench. "Name your price," she demands, her designer heels clicking impatiently against the concrete. The mechanic doesn't even look up. He simply picks up the check, tears it directly down the middle, and drops the pieces into a nearby oil pan. "Not for sale," he replies, his voice like grinding steel. She storms out furious, vowing to ruin him. What the most powerful woman in the city doesn't realize is that the man whose life she is about to destroy is the exact same man who pulled her from a burning car 7 years ago and vanished into the night. The boardroom at the apex of Sinclair Dynamics was a monument to cold, hard success. Floor-to-ceiling glass offered a panoramic view of Seattle's rain-slicked skyline, but 32-year-old Audrey Sinclair wasn't looking at the view. She was glaring at the 6 highly paid corporate attorneys sitting across the mahogany table. Audrey was a billionaire, a titan in the commercial real estate and logistics sectors. She had built her empire on absolute precision and ruthless efficiency. When she wanted something, she acquired it. It was a simple equation that had never failed her until today. "Explain to me," Audrey began, her voice barely above a whisper, which her team knew was far more dangerous than a shout, "how a multi-billion-dollar waterfront redevelopment project is being stalled by a single dilapidated auto repair shop on a 1/4 acre of dirt." Darian Russo, her chief of staff and closest confidant, cleared his throat. He adjusted his glasses, glancing at the file in front of him. "It's not just any shop, Ms. Sinclair. It's Collins's Custom Auto. The property is a geographical anchor. Without that specific plot, the foundation for the South Tower cannot be laid. We've offered him triple the market value. We've offered him commercial relocation. We even offered to build him a brand new state-of-the-art facility 10 miles away." "And," Audrey prompted, crossing her arms, "he sent the contracts back," Darian sighed. "Well, to be accurate, he used them to soak up a transmission fluid spill, put them in a sealed plastic bag, and mailed them back to our legal department." A heavy silence fell over the boardroom. Audrey's jaw tightened. She prided herself on reading people. Everyone had a number. Everyone had a pressure point. "Who is he?" Audrey asked, extending a hand. Darian immediately placed the manila folder into her palm. She opened it. Inside was a grainy photograph of a man in his early 30s. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with dark, unkempt hair, and eyes that looked like they had seen too much of the world's ugly side. The name at the top of the file read, Nathan Collins. "Single father," Darian explained, as Audrey scanned the meager background check. 34 years old. Wife passed away 6 years ago. He lives in the apartment above the garage with his 7-year-old daughter, Sophie. No outstanding debt, no criminal record, pays his taxes on time. He's completely off the grid socially. He just works, takes care of his kid, and ignores us." "Is the business failing?" Audrey asked. "No. He restores classic cars for high net worth clients. He's highly sought after, but it's a one-man operation." Audrey closed the folder and tossed it onto the table. The legal team flinched. She stood up, smoothing the front of her tailored charcoal suit. "You are all dismissed. If you can't handle a mechanic, I will." "Audrey, wait!" Darian cautioned as the lawyers scrambled out of the room. "The neighborhood where his shop is located, it's the old industrial district. It's rough. Let me send a negotiator." "We sent negotiators. They got a bag of oily paper." Audrey said, grabbing her trench coat from the rack. "Have my car brought around. I'm going down there. I want to look this Nathan Collins in the eye and find out exactly what it costs to buy a man's pride." The rain was coming down in sheets by the time Audrey's sleek black town car pulled into the cracked, weed-choked driveway of Collins's custom auto. The contrast was almost comical, a $500,000 luxury vehicle parked amidst rusted chassis and towering stacks of old tires. Audrey stepped out her assistant, holding an umbrella over her head. The smell of the place hit her instantly, a heavy, intoxicating mix of motor oil, oxidized metal, and damp earth. Heavy metal music echoed from the open bay doors of the corrugated steel building. "Wait here," Audrey instructed Darian, stepping out from under the umbrella and walking into the cavernous garage. The lighting inside was dim, punctuated by the harsh blue sparks of a welding torch in the corner. In the center of the bay sat a pristine 1969 Mustang, stripped down to its bare frame. Beneath it, lying on a wooden creeper, was a man, Nathan Collins. Audrey called out her voice, cutting through the hum of the air compressor. The welding stopped. The music was abruptly turned off. The man pushed himself out from under the Mustang and stood up. He wiped his grease-stained hands on a rag and looked at her. Up close, Nathan Collins was physically imposing. He wore a faded gray t-shirt and heavy denim, his arms corded with muscle and covered in faint pale scars. His eyes, a striking stormy gray, locked onto hers with a chilling indifference. "Shops closed to walk-ins," Nathan said, his voice a low, gravelly baritone. "If you need a tow, call the number on the door." "I don't need a tow, Mr. Collins. I'm Audrey Sinclair." Nathan didn't blink. He didn't gasp. He just tossed the rag onto a workbench. "I know who you are. The woman who sends suits to harass me twice a week. I told your people I'm not selling." Audrey stepped